What you're going to see in the paper over the next few days is actually the work of almost 8 months by a special team. And it all began in July, which was barely 4 months after the Indian Express finished the HSBC series. And then came a message from them in early July saying new ICIJ project. So we spoke to them on Skype and did get the impression that it's probably the most ambitious journalism collaborative project ever. And when I learned that the subject was offshore companies, of course we were interested. We signed the agreement and immediately set up a team in the office. The first thing was to get onto what the ICIJ called the forum, which is an interactive community sheet where all the people working on the project could share ideas and news breaks and data. And the project, of course, is called Prometheus because of the expanse and the voluminous data that we were dealing with. And then came the search engine. The problem was that the search engine was fed by the ICIJ in spurts. And as the team started working, if you were looking for a particular entity, or you were, by entity I mean an offshore company, or you were looking for a client or a beneficiary owner of that entity, and you had a batch of documents, those documents would get expanded a month later into maybe several thousand more or million more. So the search was never really complete till almost 2 weeks ago. The other thing was the nature of documents we were dealing with. You know, a single entry could mean just a copy of a passport or incorporation single document, or it could be an attachment which would open up into thousands of pages of documents, and that attachment could lead to other attachments which would lead to more. So it really was a fascinating chase of data, documents, and which you will see unveil over the next few days.
The global deadline gave us about 8 months to go through 2,600 GB of data and then work on the leads. In that maze, we found more than 36,000 files that links to India. That is something like 200 to 300,000 pieces of documents. To put it in perspective, it's like going through more than 1,000 paper bags, and all quite fat at that. It tested our stamina, and since the plots were all variations of the same theme, also our focus. But in the end, our efforts paid off. We found hundreds of Indian names. We found big industry names. We found names that links to Bollywood. We found some top names from the real estate business. We found corruption in government deals and links to IPL. We found some from the art world and also some legals and a few names in the politics. But we also found names which we never heard of. And tracking those names, we reached unlikely list of places like Paharganj in Delhi, in slums of Mumbai, or a mud house in a remote town. Given the constraints of the global deadline and our limited resources, we had to focus on 50-odd names for now. But many names that remain, and also the leads we gathered on the way, they promise more stories and demand more work. So the investigation will continue.